Welcome to our assembly on Monday the 20th of April 2020, the start of the Trinity Term. Exactly 1 month ago today, schools across the UK closed their doors and this current period of uncertainty began. Instead of a term of GCSE and A-level exams, cricket and rounders, trips and productions, many students have been handed a summer of mixed emotions. The relief of not sitting in rows and agonising over the pages of the exam script. The feeling of missing the opportunity to complete what was started and then celebrate with their friends. And also, the fear of the unknown. I wonder if you can guess what the most common phrase in the Bible is. I'll give you a hint. The first two words of the popular phrase are "do not." Immediately, you'll probably think of the 10 Commandments. Do not steal. Do not covet your neighbour's belongings, and amongst others, do not murder. Too often it seems that we too are being told what not to do. Do not run. Do not use your phone in school. Do not talk. The 10 Commandments weren't just demands. They were instructions about how to live and how to get on with your fellow human beings. Many of the laws that govern our land and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are loosely based upon them also. However, the other two words that make up the most common phrase in the Bible paint a very different picture from that of a God who is constantly telling people not to do things. When the angel Gabriel appeared to Mary, informing her that she was going to give birth to a baby, he used this important four-word phrase. The same angel used this phrase again when he appeared to some shepherds on a hillside just outside Bethlehem. St. Paul was told the phrase by God before he went on trial. And Jesus used this phrase when addressing his disciples after he calmed a storm. The most common phrase in the Bible is "do not be afraid." It appears in one way or another 365 times, one for every day of the year, sometimes to individuals and sometimes to groups, at times when they're taking big risks, facing their giants, going into battle, saying unpopular truths, travelling into uncharted territory, or being persecuted for their faith. When teaching his disciples, Jesus said, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid." It's a simple message, yet it has such an important meaning. To be afraid is to be overwhelmed, scared and unsure. Being afraid is not something to be ashamed of, ignored or condemned. Rather, it's a healthy emotion, part of being human. When we're scared, we slow down, we become cautious, and we pay attention to ourselves and the world around us. Yet, being afraid can stop us from doing things, and fear can hold us back. When we hear "do not be afraid," it means that even though we might feel frightened, we can still move forward. When we're afraid, we are challenged to be our best and to conquer that fear. It may not be as bad as we first thought. Hundreds of years ago, a woman named Julian lived near Norwich, suffering a lifetime-threatening illness. After she recovered, she wrote a book about the things she had seen while she was in a coma. One of these things was visions, and they included the following words: "All will be well, and all will be well, and all manner of things will be well." Julian lived in a time of war and plague, so she felt that this could be God's promise to her. We can think about this message too. Even when things go wrong, we can be sure that eventually things will change and all will be well. School will reopen. Friendships will be renewed. We will celebrate the achievements of the class of 2020, and we will all be far more resilient and better prepared for future challenges. And perhaps some rules will need to change. Do not be afraid to run. Do not be afraid to use your phone. Do not be afraid to talk. Because nothing matters more right now than casting aside fear and focusing on the sure hope that all will be well. We may not be together in one space, but as Rishworthians, we remain one community. and I challenge you all to not be held back by fear, but make the most of a new way of learning in the weeks ahead. And I wish you all a successful Trinity Term.